Hello, this is not the this is not a dreadlord. This is a hopefully quick video trying to explain current theories about Jenafur. The secret's been going on for maybe 3 or 4 months now. Been going on for a while. So yeah, there's three theories I'm going to be covering in this video. First of all is the Aleph tile theory. So this is a 41-page Google Doc. Holy shit. It's really complicated, so I'm going to do my best to try and explain it. Obviously, all of the links to these, apart from the last one, I think, because that's not Google Doc yet, this PDF, will be in the description, and I really would recommend you reading these if you are interested in pursuing or trying to help us with trying to solve the secret, because I'm certain my descriptions won't be good enough if you really want to start testing them. But this is sort of an outline. So yes, back to Aleph's tile theory. So basically, the summary of this is each food is a certain number of tiles. So am I going to... Yeah, okay. Because this is basic, I'm going to explain all of it. So the current step is there's essentially two patches of kibble in what I'm going to call the observation deck. So I don't know what the official name is, this area in Karazhan. There are two patches of kibble. Each one has a certain pattern to it. There are numerous types of food placed around. I believe there are 4 types of food. I'd have to double check that. You don't need to know the specifics right now. Again, there'll be a link to the Wowhead guide and all of the information you need. But there is food, there is the kibble, and then there is music is truly the key to happiness. Those are the 3 components. Any theory, at least in my opinion, needs to somehow contain at least somewhat of an explanation, unless it's got exceptional proof of just one thing, which that's one of the ones coming up. Anyway, so there's all of these 3 basically branches, as it were. Aleph's tile theory mostly covers the food and tying that together with music is truly the key to happiness. It doesn't really cover the kibble. So basically the way it works is all the food is scattered around Karazhan, and each bit of food is a certain distance away, and these distances happen to generally line up, and they can be measured with the textures on the tiles. So for example, here, that bit of food, 3 tiles and 4 tiles that way to this bit of food, then 1 tile to, I think there's a bit of food right there. And that can then be overlaid onto the observation deck, as I think that's the one there. You can just overlay it because they more or less line up with... Where are you? I can't find it now. There we go. It more or less lines up with sort of a music sheet. And Aleph got the music sheet overlaid and sort of assumed there'd be one pretty much because of the shape. However... he has tied it into music is truly the key to happiness, because you can see here, so the music is mix of music staff, key, so keep one line to put the music key, and then happiness is a smiley face, I think. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand music that well, so I might be misunderstanding that, but that's how I interpret it. So it's a very complicated theory. There's a lot more to it, but that's the basics. So just to repeat, just to summarize, food all over the dungeon. Each bit of food is a certain distance away from it, which then can be overlapped onto a music sheet, which fits the dimensions of the observation deck. So that's Aleph's tile theory, as much as I can describe it. The next one is very specific, and this is one of the ones which generally it's good for it to like explain the entire secret. But I think this is a very good first step to something. And I will admit I'm a little bit biased. I really like this one. So this one just covers a single patch of kibble. This one is just the one I call the arrow one. So you can see it's sort of kind of looks like an arrow. I believe it's the west, leftmost kibble. But basically, the idea of this one is that the kibble itself is not the entire observation deck is the music sheet, but at least one of the patches of the kibble is the music sheet itself. So it is sort of the origins of it, which I think, the thing that I think proves this, well, at least gives it very strong, what's the word I'm looking for? Evidence, I suppose, that it could be on the right track is the hint we were given. 4 kibbles bounce in time, 4 kibbles count the time. So which suggests that 4 of the kibbles do something and the other 4 do a separate task. And I think that is useful. But I think that's good to... It's good that he's sort of specifically targeting one of these lines. So yeah. It makes sense just targeting one kibble and then going on to the next patch to understand it later, but it doesn't actually cover the other kibble, which I guess would be a weakness of this theory. Anyway, what you need to know about this, so the leftmost kibble can be basically, well, it's quite easy, so very easy to see on this bit. Again, Google Doc will be in the description below. Essentially, it all lines up in grid. So this is really obvious. Like, you can see clearly, and it shows how it gets there. It isn't just like some random grids being overlaid. It makes sense for this grid to be lined up like this. There was speculation that this was a guitar. However, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out right. Guitars have 5 lines on the music sheets. Again, sorry, I don't know the correct terminology, but there's 5 lines. This has 6 lines, so it doesn't quite work out. However, I believe there are other instruments that work for this, but again, they're just more research needs to be done, sort of looking into what possible instruments would work. And then there's the question of, as we have this semi-music sheet using the kibble, how do we then input that? Which there's been questioning about how that's possible, but no one's particularly sure. We haven't really come to an agreement yet, so that's something that if you're looking to help out finding a way of, and that's needed for pretty much any of these theories, like it's always useful trying to have some way to like input the music into the game. We tried voice chat, that didn't seem to do anything. Anyway, the interesting bit about this is it also comes with like the audio that will come from the music. So this is solution H. So this is I believe solution G is because obviously they can go either way up. It might be upside down. This is for the either side. So this one sounds like this. And do it again. This one sounds like this. So those are the 2 possible solutions to the kibble. The final one is Bunnies. Yes, it is Bunnies. Sorry, I almost forgot your name. Bunnies. This one is a bit simpler to grasp. There's a bit at the end that I'm not particularly sure on. But basically, it takes into account both kibble patches, which is really good. It's got a very good like photograph of the kibbles themselves. I don't know the other ones that aren't as clear. Anyway, yeah. Same sort of. This one links up with Aleph's. It has the same logic with the observation deck and overlaying the music sheet onto it. However, this one actually takes into account the kibble, and this one I think actually might have some merit. This bit is a bit of a stretch in my opinion. However, I do like some of the logic. So let me explain it to you. So you see here the kibble sort of can be joined up to form a bit of a pendulum and a clock face. And with this, they have overlaid it, and it doesn't quite match, obviously, but it does. It does make somewhat sense. It also makes more sense because with the hint we were given, I'm quite surprised it isn't. I don't think it's included here. But the hint, I think, is the strongest bit of evidence for this theory, because as the hint goes, 4 kibbles count the time, 4 kibbles bounce in time. Pendulums kind of bounce. It clock face obviously counts time. So I think that is quite a strong bit of evidence for this theory. So those are the three main theories that I've been able to find. Sorry if this has been a bit rambly, but hopefully this will at least get you on the right track. If you have any more questions, message either me, not a dreadlord, or my Discord is Boag. Or if the people are fine with it, I don't know if they are, message the creators of the Google Docs if you have any other questions, or just ask it in Jenafur chat. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully I haven't absolutely butchered anyone's theory. Okay, bye.